Hello. Hi, Joe.
Hello, Sonia. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great on this.
I'm doing surprisingly well, I have to say.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's a beautiful day, and why not? You know what? What else we got to do? So, welcome to Women Creating Wealth Together. And our motto is energize women to challenge that status quo, right?
Woohoo. We're
That's why I thought,
challenging right now.
no, it is challenging right now, but that's why we're on this, especially so we can help women do that. And we have two special guests today. We have
Mhm.
Liz and we have Lisa. And today we're going to talk
Yay.
about property management.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, both Lisa and Liz are property managers. Well, Lisa was a property manager for an RV park I used to own. We've sold it, and I've recruited her out of that before the other owners took over, and now she works for me in a different role and as an asset manager. But she used to manage a 400 plus stall of RV park in Arizona.
Wow.
And then we have Liz, who manages our student housing here in California. We have 140 beds that she manages, and comes with the role that with a lot of unique challenges and problems that she solves. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk to them both about property management,
Mhm.
which is a very essential role
Yeah,
in real
absolutely.
estate investment, right?
Oh, yeah,
And then
absolutely.
also to get the special perspective that Liz, who is currently managing the property with this challenge of COVID-19. So it's a very unique time and perspective that we are lucky to hear Liz talk.
Good,
So
good, good.
welcome, ladies.
Welcome. Welcome to our show.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. So fun to see your beautiful faces.
I know it's fun. More ladies, the more fun it is.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do a little background on these ladies. I think one of the unique commonality of both of these ladies is that they, previous to their property management, they didn't have any experience in doing property management.
Oh, interesting.
None at all. So
Mhm.
I uh, I asked Lisa to take over and manage the RV park. We ran into some problems there, and it was a remote location for me, so it was not possible for me to directly manage. And Lisa was she was visiting her mom and kind of helping out her mom's situation, and she happened to live on the property temporarily. And I asked her to step up, and she did a great job managing that. And so she became a great property manager. And kind of
Very
the
nice.
same story with Liz.
Yeah.
Liz's husband is a maintenance manager for our property. And
Mhm.
I was having so many problems looking for the right property manager. We hired one, didn't turn out to be right. I think I went down to fourth or fifth, and I was just so distraught and exhausted. And then, of course, I knew Liz from the property maintenance manager, and I knew she was a thinker. So I said, why don't you try this? And she said, oh, no, 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 no. Then I said, no, I'll teach you. You can do it. And so she stepped up, and now she's one of the best property managers I've known. So
Awesome. Way to
yes,
go,
these
you
are
two. This is
Thank you.
great.
totally beyond the status quo.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I stepped into property management actually 5, 6 years ago now, same thing. I had never done property management. So
Yeah,
just stepping into it and learning it as you go. I don't know about you, but I learned the best that way.
me
Just kind
too.
of thrown into the fire, but I'm sure Sonia is a fantastic boss. So
Well,
kudos to you.
maybe you want to ask them separately later, but
That's awesome.
so Liz, why don't you what made you to try property management?
Well, just like you said, you kind of are the reason why I am where I'm at now. And Manny, my husband, which he's the maintenance manager. I was so nervous. I'm like, no, no, no. Like, I do not want to because I had no clue. I haven't been, an experience of working because I was a caregiver before I was a
Mm-hmm.
manager. And I
Mm-hmm.
had nothing to go based on. oh, take at least my past experience to help me with this. I had nothing. So when I was like, fine, I'll do it and see how it goes, I was nervous, incredibly nervous, shy. I hope
Yeah.
nobody walked in. I hope nobody called me. You know, it's just I didn't want to because I was scared.
Yeah, she was really
Of
scared, but she
yeah,
she did it, and now she's realizing the caregiving role and
yeah,
manning a property with all the tenants that need her help is really not that different.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's there. There's different needs, but similar on the attention and needs. So,
Yeah.
so I guess being a caregiver did help me. I mean, I caregive for my grandma, but still, the needs were there. Being on college students, it's really not that much of a difference. But
Mhm.
again, it's different needs, but the same attention. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
And
it helps.
this is a really great communicator, which helps a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And Lisa, what do you what do you kind of again stepped into property management role? What do you think of your experience now? Are you did you like it or did you? I know I should maybe Joe should ask because I know the answers to these. I know how she feels about it. But what do you think of your property management experience?
It was a good experience for me. There was a lot of different facets to the job.
Mhm.
Um, definitely dealing with the customers and then the laws and rules and regulations and marketing, advertising. There was a lot of different things to do. That was interesting. I think the customer service side was a little hard for me personally. I'm kind of more the introvert, and um, this population was older, so it was interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Joe, you know what was really funny is when Lisa was managing the RV park, which was really for snowbirds. So as she was saying, the population, the ages were tend to be older, and
Mhm.
then and Liz was sitting at the student housing, managing tenants that were, you know,
Younger.
young, but they were talking to me about very same issue,
Uh-huh.
and so it was kind of amusing at times.
It is.
I think just the rental mentality, don't you think? I mean, no matter what the age is, because I had the same thing when I was renting apartments. I mean, it's
Hmm.
just sometimes it's kind of like babysitting, and other
Yeah.
times it's they're so great. They take such care
Yeah.
and pride too. So it's kind
Yeah.
of both realms you get. So I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and I
was
think
very eye-opening.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know what you guys think, but one of the biggest asset or skill set you have in property management, at least with the dealing with tenants, is having the listening ability.
Yeah.
Just listening to what they have to say and making them feel heard,
Hmm.
which I think is a big role you play. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's making them feel that they can come to you when there is a problem and that they know that you won't just be like, it's not my problem. Just step out.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
the connection you have with the tenant is what really just brings everybody to feel comfortable because this is their home. Reality, this is
Right.
their home and you want them to feel comfortable if it was back at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
And this I mean, I think that kind of empathy is what allows Liz to get results from the tenants is because they know that she's being genuine and they're thinking about their situation. And so they tend to respond to her and a problem solving becomes a lot easier or actually is done as
Yeah.
opposed to not being done.
Now, also, do you find with the technology nowadays, because I'm sure there's with your age group, with the age group you're with, managing, the
Mhm.
technology, the texting and all that, do they rather text now instead of call?
Yes, they
Yeah,
would much rather do texting.
yeah,
It just
yeah,
gets it done to the point and faster and just everything. They rather
yeah,
text.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was a
think
big.
and that's quick response, it's quick, action, it's quick everything, and then I would assume the problem or situation, whatever it was, of why they're texting, has been resolved. probably in a faster manner.
Yeah, way faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that similar to you too, Lisa, with the different age group that you were with?
No, it's actually opposite because of the
Yeah.
age group technology. They didn't like it. So when we tried to transition, say, electrical bills to, we'll just email them to you, you can pay them online. They did not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a number that were very savvy, but the core group,
Yeah.
like 60% did not like that. They very much wanted face-to-face time, and
Yeah.
you had to be real hands-on.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it depends on also not just age group, but what their cultural background is. I mean, I have a property in San Francisco, and the tenants there tend to be younger professionals, and I never get on the phone with them or even have any kind of, there's no live communication at all. Email, text, that's it. And then whereas some of the other properties with more of a workforce housing, more blue collar neighborhoods, people tend to want to communicate more directly via phone or face to face, more the old fashioned way. So I think you just kind of adapt to whoever the tenant is or what the culture is. Got to be flexible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you do a lot of property management, Joe, yourself?
3 years worth, yeah. I did 3 years worth at 60-unit apartment complex. And
Oh,
there's
wow,
two
that's good
different, yeah,
size.
there's two different properties,
Mm-hmm.
but 30 and 30. So yeah, 3 years worth, and it was very interesting. I had the same scenario. The older tenants wanted to see you face to face. The younger ones wanted to text all the time. They were kind of getting to be, a lot of the older ones were also getting to be tech savvy, but more than likely they wanted to be face to face. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have 3 years of it. Mhm.
So let's talk about, a lot of people, when they think about buying a property for investment purposes, they kind of dread the property management aspect of it. I get the impression, they get the impression that it's all about toilet plunging and getting those phone calls in the middle of the night. And some of it is that. But what do you guys feel? Do you like property management? I mean, what do you like about it, and what's challenging for you? We'll start with Joe.
I guess start with me.
Yeah, why
I'm actually
not?
not doing it anymore. So
Right,
I,
right.
I was done with it 2, 3 years ago. So I did it for 3 years, and I think the one thing I didn't like, now being in the Midwest, the major one thing I didn't like was having to go show apartments and stuff during the cold weather. I
Oh.
just didn't like it.
See, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. It was, but, and then, if there's problems around I had maintenance people,
Mhm.
but dealing with all that during the cold weather is
Oh,
one thing I did not like at all.
that's so
Other than,
interesting. I would have never expected that.
yeah, when it's 20 below and you have to go outside,
Oh my God.
you're just like,
Yeah.
or you have to go show an apartment. You're like, can we maybe do this in a week? It's a little bit warmer, but you can't do that. When they want to see it, they want to see it. So that was kind of things I didn't like per se. But other than that, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my tenants. The only other thing I didn't like is when I had to evict somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That part I wasn't too fond of. But other than that,
Yeah, that's tough.
it was fine. I got along really well with the tenants. As long as we saw eye to eye. There was a few that I just, you just don't see eye to eye with. But,
Mm-hmm.
97, 98%, it all went well.
Do you think, Liz and I are talking right now with this COVID-19 of implementing virtual tour as soon as we as soon as possible. It's been something we've been talking about. Now we're fast forwarding it because we feel the need more so sooner rather than later. Do you think with the cold weather problem, virtual tour and things like that could weed out a lot of unnecessary tours, get more of the serious people in?
Yeah, yes, except for, those of us from around here, we're pretty hardy stock. And
Mhm.
so we're used to that. We're used to having to go out and look. But if they do offer virtual tours, I would think that would take hold very quickly
Yeah.
and that people would rent it that way.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question because of the student housing. Are your students are they coming back to school in the fall? Or how is that all working right now? Because I've heard some universities are waiting till January 2021 to come back on.
Yeah, we don't know. Liz and I are watching the news every day, but it's not something we know as we're
Okay.
recording this show right now. I think there's talk of it. And Liz, you can talk a little bit about how we're dealing with the uncertainty because this is our leasing season for the upcoming calendar or the academic year. So it puts us in a tough spot for sure.
Yeah. No, I think as of right now is really letting the tenants know that we know that, if there is no school, we understand there is no need for them to look for housing. But, I try to encourage them because there is still some work to be, people going to work, the essential work that's provided out there. I kind of go that way and hopefully they can stay behind and try to convince them that, to stay as much as we can because yes, it's still up in the air. We still are not sure if there is still going to be school face to face or maybe, their plans are to probably minimize the people in class. But again, it's just a bunch of ideas brainstorming right now that nothing is for sure. But we're trying to help them out as much as we can.
Yeah, we're maintaining as flexible as we can be. And what's interesting is that when this first all hit, of course, when the school universities closed down, that was the first thing that happened. And a bunch of kids left, right? They went to their parents and what have you. And Liz and I were very worried about what was going to happen with the 2 more months of lease, well, more than 2 months of the calendar or academic year left on their lease. And then we found out a few weeks later that a lot of them came back. And we thought it was so funny because like, well, of course, you're in college and you go home and then you're stuck at home with your parents and all your family and you can't go anywhere, or you have your apartment.
Yeah.
What would you choose? So that was an interesting discovery.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So yeah, as far as the upcoming lease year, we're trying to get as many new leases signed as possible because I think some commitment on the part of the tenant is really helpful. But of course, we can't, I know some student housing are requiring a commitment and there's no way to break out of the lease if the school does not reconvene in the fall semester. But I think Liz and I are on the camp. We got to give them some flexibility. So we're just waiting and seeing what's going to happen. But it's going to be a different leasing season for sure and a challenging one. So, Lisa, what did you like about property management and what didn't you like? Oh, I think we already talked about this, right? Did we just talk about that?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, she told us that. Yeah, she told us what she liked and didn't like, and then, but how'd you get out of it then, Lisa? How long were you in it, and then what did you do? I mean, how did you get out of it, and then you went to work with Sonia, or?
I told her to come out.
Yeah.
I sold the property and I said, come work for me. Come work for me.
That's how it happened.
Yeah. 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 And I had done it about 4 years and it's a stressful job.
Yeah, it was a lot, but
I noticed one difference I think I've noticed, I don't know, I may be wrong, Liz, but with the older generation, they don't like being told what to do versus, I don't know, with the college students at the age that Liz is dealing with, they're a little easier to get them to follow the rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So it's the nuance of talking to the older generation that could be challenging sometimes. Right. So what about you, Liz? What do you like about property management and what's especially challenging?
I think what I like is helping people. I think that's always been something that it doesn't matter what it is, it's just helping them, and I came to a point where I was even a counselor to an apartment itself, but I enjoy it. And I try not to get too involved because obviously getting too involved can lead into more than just my role there at the apartment. but I do try to help as much as I can, and it's just a learning experience. It never stops. There's always something new. You know, when I came on, I never in my right mind think that we will be going through what we're going through now. You know,
Oh yeah.
I would never think this is part of like my job time being here. So it's, I mean, it's good. It's scary, you know, because I still want to deliver when giving it's a hard time right now to get everybody to pay rent. Like as my role is to deliver that, have them pay, you know, try to see where they're at, understand where they're coming from, and understand their needs. And you know, it's just I just want to make sure that I can do that to people to help them out in this situation, you know. But I think the hardest part and the most importantly, what I don't like is the negative. You know, the negative side of it, where there's people just attacking you and blaming you for not meeting their needs. You know, and of course, you can be nice because you're giving what they like. As soon as you know you flip that around, there's a problem. There's something, and then the negativity is just can get a little overwhelming, but just gotta learn how to ignore and brush it off.
Yeah, yeah, that's certainly challenging when there's a lot of backlashing and negativity. But I think you have to have a little bit of thick skin too when you're doing property management, and understand that not everyone's going to be pleased, or there might be some arguments, and so I think that part is pretty important. But it's a good, Liz brings up a good point. I think there's a lot of emotional reward in property management because you are dealing with people's homes, and you tend to get into a lot of their livelihood and their family situations and what have you. So it feels good to help people, for sure. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. I had a young man, probably in his early 20s, and him and his roommate weren't getting along. And he had come, I had another office. And so he came to the office and we had a long talk. And I said, what do you want to do with your life? And he goes, I want to be able to travel the world and do hiking. He was big into hiking. I said, how old are you? And he goes, 22. I said, well, what's stopping you? I said, you're 22, And he goes, I don't know what's stopping me. I said, well, just go, just try one country and see if it works. He now has a YouTube channel that he like goes all over the world and hikes, and then he does these YouTubes, and it's just really amazing to see how far he's come in the last like 5 years. So,
wow. And that you got that interaction through property management.
Yeah, and I got that interaction through property management. Yeah. And even at the very beginning, after he did his first one, he came back and thanked me. And I said, well, sometimes you just have to be able to lift those barriers that you don't even know you have. And that's all from being property management, kind of trying to be a little bit involved with their life, but not fully engulfed in their life, and trying to do that conflict resolution. And
the conflict resolution. People. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the rewarding thing about property management, I think, is that you have to deal with so many different situations and skill set. I mean, you got to deal with complying with regulations, you got to collect rent, you got to get to know eviction laws, you got to talk to everybody on their level, you got to understand their family situation, roommate situations, what have you, boyfriend, girlfriend situation. So I think you develop, it's really challenging and rewarding in the sense that you gain a lot of different kinds of skill set, and you get to do a variety of things. And so for people who like doing variety set of things, I think it's especially rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Liz, how do you feel about doing property management? How do you've been doing this for 2 years now, right? 2.5 or so, since you first started. And by the way, she's learned an amazing amount of skill set doing property management, and she is so good at what she does.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been an experience for sure. And it's like I said, since day one, there was some challenging where, you just have to push the negativity in your own mind, that you create. You have to just push that away because it doesn't make you grow because you're scared. you know,
That's
so
great.
that really held me back at the beginning, you know, and thankfully now I feel so confident. Somebody calls me, I'm like, okay, I'll take the call, you know, or there's an email, okay, how can I sound nice? But I know what I'm gonna say, but I just wanna sound nice, you know, so it's really the experience of pushing those fears away, you know, because I mean, to this day I still have them, but it's not compared to from day one, you know,
Yeah,
so
oh, for sure.
yeah, so it's a big reward when somebody gives you that one phone call that I wish I never had at the beginning because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if it was the right way. So now it's like, you call me, I'll give you the answers. And if I don't know, then you know what? Let me give you a call back and I'll go find out. You know, and that confidence I didn't have back then. I was just scared.
That is awesome to hear, right, Joe?
Yeah.
This is what we
Yeah, absolutely. You
I
become a leader, you
Yeah.
know, and that's the best part.
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
we
It's
could
very
really hear the pride in your voice too,
Yeah.
which is
Yep. You
awesome.
really can.
So what would you say to yourself 2 years ago when you were scared?
Don't think twice, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do
Our
it.
motto, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Or
give
my
it a
motto, go
shot.
for it. Go
Go
for it.
for it.
Go
Yep,
for it,
just do
yeah.
it. What
That's
about you,
awesome.
Lisa? Are you what do you think about all the skill set you've learned?
It's been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. Just
It's
adds more to my plate and,
yeah.
you know,
Certainly a lot of applications for it, all the skill set we learn on property management.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, one thing I did after I did that job, I owned my mini storage but it wasn't big enough to have a property manager. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did then is I employed one of my renters to
Oh,
really
yeah, that's
kind of
another
like
good way.
my property
Yes.
manager, because he took
Right.
care of the snow removal, he mowed the grass, and he kind of watched out for the property.
Yeah.
So, because again, it wasn't big enough to employ one.
Yeah.
And he really took over and just did wonderful things for me. So that's another way if your facility isn't large enough to have one or really substantiate one, you know,
Mm-hmm.
use a tenant or use a renter like for me, and it works out really good.
Yeah, I think it's great to find somebody who's living on the property to
Mhm.
manage, because not only are they going to manage, but they're going to do that double duty of watching out for the property at all times. And it's their home too. So there's that incentive to want to take care of their home and have a better environment for themselves.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
definitely a great way.
Absolutely.
You know, I kind of went through interesting phase with property management because I, of course, did a lot of it in the beginning, and then I got kind of tired of it.
Mhm.
And then I just didn't want to deal with property management. But interestingly, I'm kind of willing to get back into it. I think it's, I mean,
Really?
especially, you know, I don't think I'm going to be at the desk at the office dealing with tenants on a daily basis, but, you know, working with people like Liz and Lisa and overseeing the strategy and how the property is maximizing its profit, and then how happy people tend to be or can be and appreciating the property value they're from. I think it's all very rewarding. So I know some people think it's a tedious task or headachy, and it can be. It's, you know, nothing's easy, but I think property management could be really fun too.
So maybe open up a property management segment of your business.
Well, I actually tried to do that at one time, and then I kind of didn't focus on it and went different direction.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Liz could do that though. That's her
Yeah.
next step.
Yeah,
So she,
I was gonna say she would be great at it.
Yeah.
oh, she would be
yeah.
awesome at it.
Yeah.
She and her husband, I mean, they're a team. He's jack of all trades, and he can
Mhm.
oversee construction projects. And of course, he oversees all the maintenance stuff at our property. So they make a mighty team.
Mhm. That's great.
Yeah. So I'm not afraid to go out and acquire new properties now because I have a great team to manage.
Yeah, that makes it more reassuring, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
to go get more properties. You know, you have your team in place. Absolutely.
Yes, doable for sure. So
Good, good, good. Well, let's see here. So, have you learned? I mean, I know you've already learned, you know, a lot, Liz. But anything that you thought you would have learned by now that you haven't?
I think more like the law side of it. I think I still need more information on that just to feel confident of when I'm talking to people. You know, I feel like I do need to look into that a little bit more. And accounting. I think those two are my biggest struggle right now, that I don't feel 100% on it, but you know, just that does need a little more attention. I think on my end.
Oh, that's good. That's being honest. I mean, truly. Counting has never been one of my strong suits, but it has to be my strong suit because I have to keep track, you know? So so it's just a learned skill for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, me too. I'm using this during this COVID-19. When I do have spare time, that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching myself financial analyzing and learning more about accounting so I could have a better handle on learning about a business from the financial point of view. So it's very important skill set we all could improve upon.
Amen. So what are some of your dreams, and Lisa, how about you? What's some of your dreams?
My dreams?
Yeah. This is kind of getting off property management, but I thought, what the heck, let's ask that.
What's your property management dream? There you go.
Well, you threw me on that one. I don't know, be more versed in all the different property types and how to manage each one differently. I think Sonia and I have had some discussions about that, and eventually investing for myself as well.
Oh,
That's
very
the whole
good.
point of this.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Energizing women, challenge the status quo. How about you, Liz? Are you interested in investing yourself?
Yeah, Manny and I for sure. It is one of those future part of our lists to do. You know, but again, we do want to know the basic and the most important, how to run not just the management side of it, but just, you know, also the financial side and just everything that comes with it. Because we met more than anything, Manny, he's more of a risk taker, but I'm not. I'm more precautious. I'm like, wait a minute, like let's get it down. Let's get the information we need first in order to make sure we're taking that step confident more than anything. And if, not everything goes as planned, but I know that if it doesn't go as planned, then we're like, okay, we gave it our all. We had the information we had and we felt confident at the moment. And that's just what matters, So I feel like for us, investing for sure is one of the things we look in the future to do, just because giving this, the experience that I'm getting now, everything that Manny knows, is just a good team to go ahead and invest that.
Yeah, you really are a good team.
Yeah.
We have it all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope this kind of allowed people to understand a little bit more about property management, and it's not too daunting. I mean, it's definitely challenging, but also rewarding at the same time. And you start small and you build up. You could do 400 units and 140 units, and these ladies are doing it. And they came with no experience, and they were very successful at it. So
Absolutely.
I think we women are especially good property managers, and just take it on. We can do it.
I do too, because we're very good at prioritizing what needs to be done.
Yes.
And then getting it done. So yes, women are really good. Well, we're just great anyway, but but we're really good at property management.
Yes. Well, let's not alien all of our male
That's
audience.
right. They're really good at it too.
Men are really good at certain things
They
too
are.
that we hate doing. So we need everybody on the team. Thank you, Manny.
Yeah. Man, if he's a jack of all trades, that is.
Oh yes, he is. Oh my goodness.
He
He's
does
so
a little bit of
important.
everything, so it's a win-win there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of everything.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
awesome. And women are really good at talking and communicating. And again, communicating is key. So I think there's an important skill set there that everybody who's a female has an upper leg. So that's an important factor in property management.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Good
Well,
segment, Sonia. Thank
yes,
you
that's
guys. Thank
great.
you,
Thank you.
Liz
It's
and
fun.
Lisa, for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
Having
me.
you guys. All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you next time.
Hey, we'll see you next time and go to our Facebook page, our group, and it's called Women Creating Wealth Together. Or you can also go to our Facebook business page, also under that same name, Women Creating Wealth Together. And our website, if you're interested in being on our database list, we'd love to have you. And then just put in your email there right at the bottom of the page, and you'll be connected with us all the time, which is fantastic. We'll let you know like when new videos are up and any other exciting things going on in the group.
And our face group too. You could join and be a member.
Facebook group too.
And then you could see all of Joe's everyday posting of great quotes and inspirations. I love seeing that. So
I like to be positive and put that inspirational thing.
you are for sure. So on that note, thank you everybody again. Hope everybody's well and healthy and learning something new.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.